So yeah, what a scene out here today in Yellowstone. Vacant boardwalks, vacant roadways, a few employees roaming around the park, but for the most part, this place is absolutely vacant, aside from the wildlife, the flowing water, and some driving snow here in mid-June 2022. All right, made it down to Grant Village safely there along the Grand Loop Road. Stopped in at the service station here, and fuel is available here. They do have power down here, able to operate the pumps. So this is the first time in a few months I haven't really looked at the price of the fuel before I started filling up. I just came to the pump and was happy to see that there was fuel available. I'm going to fill up the truck right now. My only reason for really doing that is the future, yeah, it's uncertain. It's odds are that we'll get power back and everything will be fine up there at Lake Village, but if not, I certainly want to have enough fuel in my truck to be able to evacuate the park with my travel trailer and not have a problem. So I'm happy to see fuel down here at Grant Village. All right, friends, well, after getting some fuel in the truck, I think I'm going to try to take a little trip down here in the southern region of the park, jump over toward Old Faithful and just see what's going on down in the Old Faithful region of the park, find out if there's anyone down there, if there's services there, what's going on around Old Faithful, and if the Old Faithful is still erupting. So if you want, let's take a little trip down the road toward Old Faithful. Who knows what kind of weather we'll encounter. We've got some clear skies down here right now, but let's see what the situation is as we pass over the Continental Divide on the way down toward Old Faithful. All right, here at Kepler Falls, down on the way, just up elevation a little bit here from Old Faithful and the lower and upper Geyser Basin down here on the southwest corner of the Grand Loop Road. You can see that water levels here are flowing heavy. This Kepler Falls always flowing rather heavy, but a gentleman just told me that he had talked to a guy from the water treatment facility here in the park, and the previous record on the Yellowstone River for water flow was 24,000 CFS, and yesterday it broke 51,000 CFS. Now that's just what I've been told. I don't have any official documentation of that, but if that's the case, we're looking at more than double the recorded levels of water flowing in the Yellowstone River here. That is a significant increase, and no wonder we're having problems with the infrastructure in the park. All right, friends, this area of Wyoming here that we today called Yellowstone National Park once was known as Coulter's Hell. That's right, John Coulter. He was a member of the Lewis and Clark expedition that first came west back in 1803, 1804, 1805. After, here we've got a geyser back here starting to bubble up here on the upper Geyser Basin. I don't have a lot of time to stop and see it, however, because I'm on my way down to try to catch Old Faithful out here on these deserted boardwalks at the Old Faithful area of lower Yellowstone, the upper Geyser Basin here. What a crazy scene though. Old John Coulter somehow down here making his way through the Wyoming wilderness. He told tales when he got back of these geyser basins just like this, with no boardwalks, of course, at that time. He found his way out into this wilderness and went back telling stories of these crazy geysers spurting hot water into the sky. Deep canyons like the Yellowstone Canyon, the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, with lower and upper falls. And crazy stories of boiling mud. People thought he had lost his effing mind. They thought that guy checked out. So they called this place Coulter's Hell. Like he had some sort of bad dream, an apparition of sorts here in Yellowstone. Looking out behind me, the Old Faithful Inn, vacant. Old Faithful right here. We're on our way to see it. Let's go. It's supposed to erupt sometime in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm on my way without further ado. Let's go see Old Faithful, shall we? All right, I've made my way down here from the Upper Geyser Trail up there with observation point and a solitary geyser. Made my way down here to Old Faithful. It's about ready to erupt here anytime within the next 10 to 12 minutes. This area here called the Upper Geyser Basin. And then there's the Lower Geyser Basin. We're down in sort of the southwest corner of the Grand Loop Road here in Yellowstone National Park. The Grand Loop Road is basically a big loop which runs from Mammoth Hot Springs down to the Norris Geyser Basin, down here to the Lower and Upper Geyser Basin, and then over to Grant Village, back up to Lake Village, then to Canyon Village, up to the Tower Roosevelt section in the northeast corner of the park, and then back up to Mammoth. There is a connector road which runs from the Norris Geyser Basin all the way over to Canyon Junction. That makes it kind of a figure 8. So we're down here in the southwest corner of that Grand Loop Road, and we're about ready to watch Old Faithful erupt right here on June 14th, 2022. A rare day in the history of Yellowstone, with no one in the park on a June day to witness Old Faithful. So we got that going for us, which is nice. And there it is. Old Faithful, baby. Woo! Look at that thing blow! Woo! Absolutely fantastic. The Old Faithful in the background. Old Faithful blowing here. June 14th, 2022 at 2:15 p.m. That's right, 14:15 p.m. The Old Faithful erupting right on time, as it always does. This is an absolutely unique event in that Old Faithful erupts, and there's not many people here to witness this. That's right, the geyser is erupting as we watch from vacant stands here in Yellowstone National Park. Wow. What a day in the park. Yes, indeed, look at that. Right on schedule. Crazy scene. It's just insane here in the park right now. There's another geyser blowing up back there. I don't know which one that is, but something's going off back there. Wow, what a scene out here in Yellowstone. All right, well, let's go. We got to get back on the road because there could be more weather coming in. Skies, as you can see behind me, are clearing. So hopefully we get a break from the snow, the weather, and things can mellow out a little bit here. And hopefully it doesn't warm up too quickly and we don't get flooded with water again here in the Yellowstone region. The greater Yellowstone ecosystem up here, high elevation. A lot of communities just outside the park, like Cook City, Gardner, Montana, Red Lodge up in Montana. A lot of these places have been hit hard by this storm. Now, I haven't been able to get out there. I'm pretty much stuck right here in the park for now. But I understand that a lot of those communities have folks who are indeed suffering. A lot of those folks have lost their home and their possessions. So if there's anything you can do to help those people out, that would be appreciated, I'm sure. As far as the employees here in the park, we're in pretty good shape. Most employees have just hunkered down right here. There's plenty of food on location. The generators are working in most locations. And if not, maintenance crews are working to keep those generators running and get them back up online so we can have heat up here, because it has been chilly conditions over the past 24 hours here in the park. This morning when I got up, temperatures were around 32 degrees. So it's pretty chilly to have a RV or a dorm room with no heat. But as I said, maintenance crews are working to try to alleviate those problems and get them back online. There's plenty of food, plenty of good cheer up here in the park. But as I said, the folks outside the park, I've seen some crazy videos, people losing homes, people being evacuated. Keep those folks in your thoughts. And if there's anything you can do to help those people out, please do so. But don't worry about the wildlife here in Yellowstone. The wildlife here in Yellowstone is just fine. This is nothing new for the wildlife here. They've endured conditions such as this for tens of thousands of years, if not hundreds of thousands of years. These prehistoric beasts know how to deal with these situations. After a Yellowstone winter, this weather condition we have in June right now is a walk in the park for the park's wildlife. So I'm going to get back on the road, head back up to the Lake Village. I was able to get fuel down at Grant Village, so I'm set there. Just came down here to check out the Old Faithful scene while I was down in the south section of the park. So I'm going to get back up there, put out another video in a little while to keep you posted on what the situation's like up at Lake Village. But this here, the scene down at Old Faithful in the southwestern section of the Grand Loop Road here in Yellowstone National Park. Thanks for tuning in to Park Junkie. Check out the website www.parkjunkie.com and make sure you subscribe to get more information about what's happening here as conditions unfold in Yellowstone National Park here in June of 2022. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Cheers.